Alright, citizens, captains, and bobs, today we are talking again about Ahoy, a project we've been following since the very beginning, and we have a very good reason for that. For the first time, this is no longer just promises, tech talk, or pretty screenshots. This is gameplay, and that matters, because up until now Ahoy has lived in that dangerous space we all know too well, the space between "this sounds amazing" and "okay, but does it actually exist?" And today they crossed that line. They showed real in-engine hands-on gameplay. Now, before you go full hype mode, before I go full hype mode, they were very clear. This is work in progress. Animations are rough, environments are mostly missing, systems are incomplete. But honestly, that's not the point. The point is, they promised gameplay and they delivered. And if you've been around long enough, especially in this genre, you know how rare this actually is. This is the moment where a project stops being theoretical and starts being real. You can see the ship moving, reacting, turning, existing in a physical space, not a concept, not a trailer, not a cinematic, a system. And from here on, everything changes, because now it's no longer about what they say they're building, it's about what they can improve. Now, let's watch the gameplay together. Here we are aboard the Bumblebee, a small single-masted ship. It's not huge, but it's not small either. I wouldn't mind using it to learn the game mechanics. And here's the helm, and in front of us you can see Frank. Frank hasn't seen the light of day in 25 years. Did you remember your sunscreen, Frank? Damn Frank, he just sits there all day while I do all the hard work. Anyway, a few things you notice right away. The sound is excellent, both the sea and the ship as it sails. Those creaks of the wood create just the right atmosphere, small details that matter. The ship's interaction with the waves feels good, giving the right sensation, and the sea looks great, in line with expectation for a 2026 game. I'd love to take a look inside the ship because the interiors of the game models are wonderful, and I'd love to see one in motion, but I'm afraid that won't be the case. The sails look really good, I'd say. Look, now that we're clearly facing the wind head-on, see how the sails are flapping? Frank, we need to reef the mainsail! Yeah, that's better, Frank. Thanks for nothing. Obviously there's a lot of clipping, especially with Frank's head and the sails, but remember, this is very early stage of gameplay. Well, as the famous singer-songwriter Orietta Berti says, as long as the boat's moving, let it go. And that's what we'll do. Promising gameplay, I'd say, but I'm afraid that this leaves me wanting even more than I did before saying it. In addition to this gameplay clip, which is good overall, even if it's not as packed with content as I'd have hoped, developers at Capstone have also shared some technical details, accompanied by short videos you'll now see in my sequence. Now, here's where things usually get dangerous, because this is the part where projects like these usually overpromise. And Ahoy is sailing those risky waters right now, because they're not just building an arcade pirate game, they're building a sailing game/simulator, and that is risky as hell. The compromises are all around them in these moments. Shortcuts, easy solutions that make this initial concept milder and milder. Let's just hope they stick to their initial plan all the way to release. Right now, all the promises are in the right place, and you can feel it in how everything is designed. The ship doesn't float because of a few invisible points under the hull. It reacts to the actual shape of the ship, interacting with the water in real time. Which means the bow and the stern don't just go up and down together, they respond differently depending on the wave. And the ocean itself isn't fake either. The waves you see are the waves the ship is actually riding. And I have to say, I wouldn't expect anything less from a modern sailing game. Then you get to the sails, and this is where it gets really interesting, because the wind isn't just pushing the ship forward like in most games, it's interacting with the sails in full 3D space, creating forces that affect the entire rig. So now you're not just going faster or slower, you're managing balance, you're controlling how the ship leans, you're deciding when too much sail actually becomes a problem instead of an advantage, and suddenly sailing becomes a skill, not a mechanic, a skill. And then there's the rigging, there's the ropes, the lines actually under tension, actually reacting to what's happening. Not animation, not fakes. When something is under load, you see it. When something breaks, you understand why. And all of this connects into one idea. The game doesn't stimulate outcomes, it simulates causes. And that's a big difference, because if they pull this off, the gameplay won't be designed moment by moment, it will emerge. In the end, we also have quick highlights from the rest of the update. They did full performance capture and 3D scanning in Paris, proper multi-camera setups, high-end facial capture, the whole thing, which is honestly wild for a project of this scale. And then we also have a new ship, La Salamandre, a French bomb vessel. Not your typical broadside fighter, this thing lobs explosive shell in high arcs from long distance, which means completely different gameplay, not faster, not stronger, different. And that's exactly what you want in a game like this. Now, the devs closed with something very simple. They know they disappeared for a while, they know communication slowed down, but now that the foundations are in place, they want to go back to regular updates. And honestly, that's the right move, because now they have something to show, and that's the real shift here. This isn't just another ambitious idea anymore. This is a project that exists, with systems, with gameplay, with direction. Still early, still rough, still a long way to go, but real. And you know what? We've all been burned before, so I'm not here to tell you this is the next big thing, but I'm here to say this. This is the moment where it became worth watching seriously. Now, if you want me to keep following Ahoy, breaking down systems, the updates, the progress, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, or don't, and trust the wind to carry this video somewhere else. See you in the next one, citizens and captains.